We are back,
What's up?
and
Long time no see.
very excited to be back here today.
It's a big one.
I've been doing daily airdrops and been live every day. This one is special, so I really like connecting with the community at the Friday download.
So what are you going to do when the 30 days of Vortex is up? Are you going to do 30 days of Nick hangout with the community? Because I have nothing but
No, we're going to continue. So we are ending our sort of Vitru drive, but we are continuing to do airdrops, and now we are getting creators also involved in there. So it's actually a fun little party we have going on every day. So
yeah, I mean, I definitely like get the notification that you go live at 1 a.m. my time, and I like turn it on for like 20 minutes, and then by the time like I'm like I'm just out.
Yeah,
it was 10 p.m. I would be there, but 1 a.m. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah. No, it's not necessary. I need to do something about a consistent time there, because the challenge is doing it alternate days at other times is that I only get a 12-hour window between the lives, and I gotta get a lot of other stuff done also. So anyway, getting back to the download today, I'm particularly excited because we have a ton of updates to share, some plans and proposals, and yeah, and we are we're on the cusp of something very, very big, and I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. It's I mean, obviously I'm privy backstage to what's going on today, so it's going to be a fun one. I'm excited to see what the community's reaction is going to be.
Yeah, and just for me as a personal challenge, I proposed a plan for this community on July 23rd of last year, 2023, and now we are fast approaching my date, and mentally I have certain goals I want to have achieved with this community prior to July 23rd. And I'm very excited that we're on the cusp of achieving all of those goals. And for me, that's a personal milestone. And I feel good about that, because it's been a lot of work. It's been a long road, but it's been a very fruitful and very rewarding kind of role. So excited about that.
Unfortunately, it's not like Thanksgiving dinner when you're like stuffing your face full of food and you're just like, and then you're like, I'm done now, and you just get to sit down and relax and look at all of the food you just ate and just relax and enjoy their company. We don't get that. We're gonna release some stuff, and then it's right back on the horse. It's just like, okay, what's next? Oh, here's the plan.
Yeah, honestly, that actually happened today, because as I'm going to update on the Vitru stuff, Team Brazil reported, and it was a delightful moment in our meeting where we usually show like a slide of updates of remaining issues and all that. And for, I think it was a whole minute, no one spoke, because there was a blank slide on there, and I thought it was some technical difficulty or whatever. And then it dawned upon me that blank slide is because all the issues have been resolved, and it was a wonderful and delightful kind of moment,
And that 1 minute of silence was your vacation until the next problem.
Yeah. But then I'm like, well, here's another list that's I have that I'm going to add to it soon. So celebrate for about 30 seconds, and then let's go on.
Union break.
So, yeah. All right, let's see what we got here. We got a lot of
Fridays.
Yeah.
Hello from Belgium.
Great. I hope there are some creators in the audience here today also. Looking forward to chatting with them about some cool things you're doing. Red hat, absolutely. We'll always remember to wear the red on Fridays. That's kind of automatic at this point.
It's your Sunday Tiger Woods red polo.
Yeah, something like that. And some chai also to go with it. All right, I think it's time to kick this off here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I will go and I will watch this chat, and we'll highlight things as we go.
All right. So as see, some of these Fridays I get a little bit of sleep, and some of them I do with no sleep and a ton of chai. So today is one of those. It's no sleep and a ton of chai. So I'll probably be a little more wired than usual, but that's part of the course. It's fine. Okay, let's go go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. This is season 3, episode 13 of Vitruveo Download. It's June 28th. I'm Nick Kalyani, founder and CEO. At the Vitruveo Download, we review key events of the past week and key things that we need the community to consider that are coming up in the next week. So we do this every Friday at the same time. And I'm very happy to report that I've been doing this for many weeks now and have not missed one. So really excited about that. And let's go ahead and start our updates here. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is Vitru Suite. As I was just alluding earlier, we are 100% backlog issues resolved. We have made some visual improvements in search, and we've got some connect claim issues resolved in Studio also. Phase 2 has kicked off. We've got creator KYC. We've got artists, the feature where artists can consign multiple artworks in play now. We also want artists to be able to set an arbitrary price. The Genesis fixed price of $150 was only that for Genesis, and so now we are moving on. And we're also adding fees, so the buyer will pay that, and that triggers revenue sharing. That phrase, revenue sharing, you're going to hear a lot about it today, folks, a lot. All right, so speaking of these visual improvements in search, it may not be obvious to everybody, but what we've done is really finessed some of the UI and things like that in terms of, for example, navigation, in terms of being able to look at and find things properly. So search has been improved significantly. And we also made a ton of improvements to the main sort of store page, where we've cleaned up the UI significantly. We've made buttons more consistent and nicer to look at. And I know that there are a ton of improvements that could be made, but we are doing this incrementally. You know, we are focusing on functionality also in parallel with the appearance of things. And we're very pleased that some of the enhancements make the site more usable and more interesting. So that is all there in search. We had some issues with searching for creators. Those issues have been resolved, and we are moving on with new features. So that's Vitru Suite. With Vitru Store, the multi-tenant Vitru Store is in planning. So what we are building, just like for streaming, we are building the Spotify for art. With marketplaces, we are building the Shopify for art. So I see tweets X posts again and again, where people, even artists who are using Vitru Studio, describe Vitruveo as a marketplace. And it irks me to no end, because we are not a marketplace and we are a blockchain. And actually, our goal is to have hundreds of thousands of marketplaces on Vitruveo. And we are doing that with our Vitru Store model. So we are really excited because we've identified a really wonderful partner, and actually met with them, had a third meeting with them today, and we've finally reached consensus on exactly how things are going to move forward. We have alignment on mission, and we have alignment on vision. Those are two very important things in this market, and we are on a fast track to get this launched. What the end result after this partner is up and our store is up is that anyone can go and create click a button, create marketplace, and boom, they can choose whatever filter they want of all the artworks that are consigned. They can choose a markup, and they can customize the look, feel, the brand, the content, etc., everything, and instantly launch a marketplace. So that's where we are going. This is if you think about Shopify as a standalone business making billions, this is one component of Vitru Store, and we're really excited about it. So all the terms of the deal have been agreed as of right now, and Alex has been working on the agreement details, and we expect to sign our agreement on Monday and start implementation. So this is a very big milestone for us, because it represents our first external partner marketplace coming on board here, bringing their artists on, and really legitimizing our whole model that we have, which, by the way, is a complete departure from existing Web3 marketplaces, etc. We've totally revamped everything. We've looked at what is wrong with the marketplaces. How does it not serve artists? And so we answered those questions, and created a platform that serves artists first and foremost, and also fixes the problems inherent in Web3 art. And this is why I know I should not get exasperated when I see an artist saying, "Hey, you should go to Vitruveo, check out that marketplace," because it's going to take a while for people to understand that we have thrown out everything out the window because it's so fundamentally broken, and we've fixed it, and we've created a very efficient, a very scalable, a very decentralized model that is going to take some time for people to understand, because they're used to the old way, which is mint and then market, and pray for a sale. And we are like, all of that is rubbish. We have got a brand new and exciting and innovative way, and we're gonna help artists get to a sustainable income as quickly as possible. Anyway, so that is the news on Vitruveo Store. Very exciting. There's going to be more news for creators coming up also, and that is also for crypto investors. So stay tuned. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Vortex. So we launched Vortex as as a project on Vitruveo. I actually consider it the third pillar. If you're wondering what the pillars are, well, Vitruveo is a blockchain for creators, and we have three pillars. So we have the first pillar, which is to cater to the needs and wants, and really a bright future for artists such as visual artists, musicians, movie makers, authors, etc. The second pillar is the degen pillar. We want to cater to those creators who make PFP projects and things like that that involve more Web3 centric things. So there we have a marketplace. So that's pillar number 2. And Vortex is our pillar number 3. It is designed to target gaming designers, creators, etc. So one of the big challenges for any person who creates a game is to build an audience, right? And so with Vortex, our idea is to create Vortex World, which consists of all the holders of a Vortex NFT, which is 100,000, and build within the system build, buy, and battle mechanics. So don't go into granular detail, but build those mechanics in, and then invite gaming developers, etc., to take advantage of this ready-made platform with a ready-made audience, and to just be creative and create some exciting games. So that's Vortex, and I'm very pleased to report that the minting has been going really well. As of about an hour ago, we were at 12,473 Vortex mints, which is huge. We are actually very quickly moving towards our first milestone of 25,000, because we've capped Vortex NFT revenue sharing at 25,000. So that's the first one that's there, and things are moving along pretty rapidly. We have an airdrop every day, and I'm really excited that to see all the folks that join. We get some new folks every day who learn about the project, and we are moving forward with development very quickly. So today, what I want to do is share a few things. One is we've been working on the marketing front, and I'd like to share with you exactly marketing and development. I'd like to share with you exactly what has happened. So the first thing is now overdue by almost 15 days, and all responsibility on that is mine. But we finally fixed all the bugs on land claim, and I'll give you a quick 30-second demo on that right now. Also, yesterday we activated a creator challenge. I'll give you information on that. I have a short link right now here, but as I understand it, I checked just 10 or 15 minutes before this, and tiny URL appears to be down, and so that short link may not work right away. But we'll publish an alternate sort of link in Telegram and other places so that people can get to it directly. We have completed the application wireframes for Warpcast. As I've mentioned in previous downloads, our intent is to launch Vortex minting on Warpcast. So the contracts are all ready, and we are very close to be able to launch that. The next airdrop, which you do not want to miss, is tonight at 10 p.m. PST, which will be 5 a.m. UTC. That's plus 1 day. And we've added a new segment on here. So if you're a creator and you attend, there's a creator airdrop segment. So you want to attend that and get some free Vortex NFTs. So let me just give you a quick peek into what I'm talking about with the land claim here. So basically what you are seeing here is the ability for Vortex holders to claim a plot. And this here is a simulator. So what you can do is start off by simulating that other people have already participated and claimed some of the plots. And what you can do is in this simulator, you can give yourself a certain number of tokens, and then you can practice sort of laying down your strategy for how you would take over territory. So here I have a mix of epic, ultra, rare, and common tokens. Those are the 4 rarities of the Vortex tokens. And here what you can do is you can start claiming land by choosing a token and then sort of building up from there. So you can see that here I've chosen some planes. What I can do is click through and choose different plots, and there are some rules around this, and those rules have to be followed for scoring and things like that. But this simulator is in effect, and tonight at the airdrop, I'll be showing you how to use it yourself and get into it. So that's exciting. And the creator challenge. So the creator challenge is at vitru.xyz/creator challenge. Let me get into that. And let's see here. The basic challenge is that we want artists to develop the actual visual identity of the Vortex NFTs. So currently, if you look at the Vortex NFTs, the 4 rarity types are represented by colored vortexes and the symbols that go along with them. And what we would like with the challenge is for creators to create a set of 24 of them. So in this document, we have provided all the details about what the 24 traits are, like clarity, intuition, patience, etc., and the symbols. And the challenge for creators is to create the full set and win $5,000 equivalent in Vitru. Now, everyone who participates will also have the option to create a license and list their set in the store, so that Vortex participants, Vortex holders who say that, well, I like the default, I like the winning one, but I want a different one for myself. So they have the option to buy their own. And so if you enter this, there's a good chance that someone is going to love your work and going to choose it for their vortexes. So no one in the challenge should really have their work sort of, be a waste of time. We feel that if you put in the effort and we've listed it, more than likely someone will want a rare set that's their own, and so this is really, really exciting. Now, the date ranges are here. So the date range for creating artworks is from now until July 14th. We have a submission period from July 15th to July 21st. We have a voting period where all the Vortex holders will be voting from August 2nd to 8th, and we'll announce a winner on August 9th. Now, if you want more details, you can either sort of wait until the tiny URL comes up and this document is back up, or you can go to our community site for creators. It's dreamverse.vitruveo.xyz. So that's a Telegram link. There's a channel set up there, and you can ask questions, etc., right there. And what we'll do is we'll post the direct link to the document in there also, so that if tiny URL is still down, you can still access it. So that's important. All right, and maybe tiny URL is back. Let me just check. It seems like someone's commented that it is back. So let's try it. Right, vitru.xyz/creator challenge is what it is. If that works, that's great. Then, oh yeah, it works. Okay, so tiny URL is back up, and I appreciate that. That means you can go ahead and learn all about this. So let's get that banner up here now. Now that I know it works. So this is where you want to go to learn all about the creator challenge. That's where the detail is. And if you want to talk about it, ask questions about it, etc., go to Dreamverse, the Telegram channel. All right. So that's the word on Vortex. And now I want to share with you, which I already did accidentally a second ago, but I want to share with you the Vortex branding that we've come up with. So let's take a look at that. And there it is. All right. So we are working on the marketing content for this, the website, etc. And I'm very happy to present to you a unique Vortex logo and really the Vortex world kind of logo text there. So we wanted to stray a little bit from the purple themes, the color palette used by Vitruveo, to have Vortex have its own identity, and we also wanted to have a very gamification kind of feel to it. So you're going to see this logo on the website as it's launched, and see this a lot in the next few over the course of the next few months. All right, that is it for Vortex, and now let's go on to the next item. Oops, I killed that slideshow. Let me restart it, and there we go. All right. So the next item we want to talk about is tokens. So today I'm actually going a little bit out of order because there's one topic, revenue share, that I want to spend a lot of time on. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of these tokens and other things done a little ahead of time. So when it comes to tokens, last week I reported that we are going to work on a new revised contract for Vitru due to some decimal precision errors. So that new Vitru contract is in development. We expect it will be deployed next week. There'll be an announcement. And as I've said before, you don't have to worry if you have wrapped Vitru in the existing contract right now. It is safe. You can go back and unwrap it whenever you feel like it. That contract is not going anywhere. But there will be a new official wrapped Vitru contract that will be the main one. All right. So that's an important thing. Now let's talk about the other things that I think most of the community wants to be aware of, which is what happens around the DEX, SEX decision, etc. So as I mentioned here, the contract is in development. It'll be deployed week of July 1. Now we are continuing conversations with multiple SEXs. We are in some cases very advanced stage, and some cases a little bit sort of in the middle. I hinted to you last week that we didn't want to wait indefinitely while these SEXs take their own time to make a decision. And as of right now, we don't have an official decision from any exchange yet. While someone might have seen some marketing work, etc., we still do not want to make any announcements until we have officially signed a deal. And so as of right now, there is no official deal yet. Now, we're going to focus on DEX as our primary strategy, as I mentioned, and we want to upgrade to the latest release of PancakeSwap. So that is something we are working on right now. Ideally, we would love to have a partner who we can work with to manage all aspects of our DEX. So if you or your organization or someone you know or has an organization that can do that for us, please would love to meet with them and hear how such a relationship would work. What we want them to do is to manage the liquidity, manage software updates, do the co-marketing with us, and really introduce new DeFi programs and keep the DEX fresh. Because as a protocol, we feel our primary responsibility is to the protocol and not to managing all the apps on top of it. We've already got our hands full with some of the Vitru Suite apps, and we'll continue with the DEX, of course, but it would be much better for us to have a partner to work with. So as I mentioned, this is imminent. We'll get the wrap Vitru contract in place. We'll get the DEX updated to the latest version of PancakeSwap because there's a few new DeFi primitives on there that I think everybody will want. So we're going to try and get that going. And with that in place, then we can go ahead and launch wrap Vitru on the DEX in our ecosystem. Now, in the meantime, here, when we are talking a matter of days and weeks here, that's the time span. We are no longer talking in the span of months here. We're talking days and weeks. If a SEX comes forward with a final proposal and we are amenable to that, we'll go ahead and pull that trigger also. But right now, it looks like we are forging ahead with the DEX approach, and that is contingent on finishing up the wrap Vitru contract, which is as I said, in development and to be launched next week, and then really get the PancakeSwap DEX upgraded and launched. So that is essentially the path to wrap Vitru being liquid. So we are fast tracking that. This has always been the case, and now it's even more urgent because we have creators here who have sales who need the liquidity. So everybody, the crypto investors need liquidity, others, etc. And so we are absolutely cognizant of that and want to get this going here. And like I said, time horizon now is days and weeks, and it'll be done. All right. So moving on to the next topic, which is the protocol. So as of right now, we have 320 27 validators, and I'm really excited about this. The VTech team continues to do a fantastic job. And now what I'd like to do is, in the spirit of the protocol, in the topic of the protocol, I'd like to bring up a topic which actually has manifested and sort of come to the forefront very quickly in the span of less than 12 hours. This was actually an idea that was floated by someone. I didn't ask for his permission yet if I could reveal who he was, so I'm not going to say his name yet, but it's someone in the community we all know. And he brought a great idea to me, and I presented it to the team today, and the team concurred. And so I'd like to present it to the community today and see what you guys think. All right. So the suggestion, the proposal is very simple: to do a rebasing goal reset. So as you know, the Vitruveo ecosystem is only now hitting its stride. We've got artists on here, we've got other apps, etc. But our transaction goal, which is required for rebasing, started at the Genesis block. It started at 10,000 transaction requirement on the Genesis block and increasing by 500 every day. Now, the current target is 133,000 plus. And the proposal is to reset that rebasing target to be more in line with how the ecosystem is coming together right now. So we've had this period basically of development, and the transaction goal was increasing during that time. And we feel like the plan is to essentially reset it. Now, this does require a protocol upgrade. It requires, so we are decentralized now. This is not something I can unilaterally say, oh yeah, cool, let's upgrade this, and we upgrade 2 nodes and we're done. No, we need 327 validators to agree. I have a feeling that there will not be much resistance to this because this benefits the entire ecosystem. If you've noted, we've had days where we have 5,000 transactions already now. So hitting a goal of 10,000 transactions now is well within reach. And so we should be seeing rebases very, very, very frequently. And yeah, so if this is what the community is amenable to, and if all the validators are agreeable to upgrading the software, then we'll get this in place as quickly as possible. And this will make rebasing almost a daily thing, which is what its intent was, provided we have the transaction volume, which I think we are with all the store volume that's coming up, with Vortex volume that's coming up, etc. We'll be able to hit this, and there'll be a consistent, steady growth of your wallet. So anyway, this is the plan, and thanks. I think you all know who I'm talking about, and I see him in the audience also, but I do want to get his permission before mentioning his name on the download. But thank you for that suggestion. It's a brilliant suggestion, and I think it will be really good for the entire ecosystem. For the creators who are sort of joining us here who don't know what the heck I'm talking about, so let me just spend a minute here talking about this. But first, a sip of chai. All right, so Vitruveo is the world's first rebasing L1 protocol. What that means in plain English is, if you've got funds in your wallet, there is a daily rebasing target of transactions. And when we meet that transaction goal, the wallet balance gets compound interest. Just like if you had a bank account, a savings account with compound interest, Vitruveo protocol's wallets have compound interest. So if you let your money just sit there, it will grow. And the goal of the rebasing system is to grow from 60 million supply to 250 million supply in approximately 5 to 7 years. That's kind of the target. So that's almost a 5x increase. So basically it means if you let your money sit in your wallet, it will increase by 5x over a period of time. So that is rebasing, and we are very excited to bring that to the forefront. And with this transaction goal reset, what it does is allow us to actually be more realistic about our goals, because now we've got our applications in place, we've got our ecosystem growing, and now we can genuinely measure transaction growth as we go, versus having the transactions goal grow without any ecosystem activity. So anyway, that's it. Really exciting, and I'm very happy to be able to bring this proposal forward. Unless we hear protests from people, this is happening. So if you disagree with it, please let us know. I mean, there might be reasons not to do it, but I feel overwhelmingly that this is something that the community will support. All right. And let's see the next one. The next item we want to talk about. I just talked about that. So next item I want to talk about is revenue sharing. Now, this is something that has always been an important goal for our protocol. We believe in making sure that crypto investors are rewarded, validators are rewarded, creators are rewarded. And so over time, without having the benefit of actually implementing things, we had conjectured, planned, envisioned a revenue sharing for first and foremost for boosters. So that's the NFTs we sold in order to raise capital. Then for validators, then also for Vortex holders. And in the process, I heard much feedback from the community about, hey, how about including this? How about changing the revenue share to this, etc. And that got me thinking a little bit. And in order to solve the problem, I always like to go back to first principles thinking. And first principles thinking says that don't start with any assumptions. Like start with a clean slate, figure out what you want to achieve, and then achieve that goal. So what I would like to present to you today is my thinking for the past almost 15 days now, and I'd like to present it to you as a plan and a proposal. So what I'm about to present, it's very important for you to know, is not a done deal. It's for you to digest and give feedback, and we'll change it based upon the community feedback, and then we'll implement it. With that premise, let's move forward. What I'd like to introduce you today is Vibe, Vitruveo income building engine. One of the things that's really important to a lot of people, in fact, I would say everybody, is recurring passive income. That's important for crypto investors. It's certainly important for creators because that's one thing that they haven't gotten. They've got a sale here, a sale there every few months. And the idea of a recurring income is really important to everyone. So with Vibe, what we want to do is create a protocol-wide program to unify and expand various revenue sharing initiatives. Now, those of you who know me and my background know that I come from an open source background where I feel we want to create an abundance mentality. Also, if you haven't been paying attention for the past year, everything I do is with careful consideration, with one thing in mind: how does it benefit the ecosystem? I want everyone to win, and it's never about, hey, how can I make only one person or one segment win. It's about ecosystem. So this is about that. And let's look at some background here. So currently we have revenue sharing plans for validators, for Vitro holders, for booster and Vortex NFT holders. Each plan is different. Each one was arrived separately. So for example, for boosters and validators, it's a percentage of NFT sales revenue. For Vortex, it's a percentage of streaming revenue. For Vitro, it's a percentage of DEX fees. So these are all three very different revenue share models. The evolution and the way of thinking about this is that the existing rev share plans were conceived over time for specific groups. With Vibe, it's a first principles approach to revenue sharing for the entire ecosystem. And let's see how that works. So the first, let's get back to like why is this necessary? Because there has to be a reason for it. So as I mentioned earlier, we are at the point now with Vitru Store where revenue sharing has to be activated, right? With Vortex also, it's going to be activated shortly. So as we work to implement this revenue sharing, it becomes very, very apparent that the complexity of ad hoc models is a problem. So when you conceive of these solutions at a business level, it's one thing, but when you try and implement them in smart contracts, etc., you start hitting these technical walls very quickly about how does this work, etc. And that is sort of becoming apparent now. And this is because every rule has every group has a different rule. And so there's a cost to it. There's a cost to developing those smart contracts, maintaining them, and administering them over time. So that's the problem we are trying to solve, folks. And Vibe is the solution. And because it has been approached with a first principle approach, it is future proof. So Vibe, if this plan moves forward and this proposal is accepted by the community in a modified form, I'm presuming, it will replace all prior revenue sharing plans, no exception. This will be the single unified model that we will have in the Vitruveo ecosystem. Sip chai. All right. So how is this going to work, and what is our goal? So we want to motivate everyone in the ecosystem, all the stakeholders, to contribute to Vitruveo's long-term success. So instead of a me approach, I would like to have everyone have a we approach. How can we all thrive? How can we all succeed instead of me with my bag only succeeding? So now this is what we had before. We had validators and boosters with NFT sales. We had Vortex with streaming revenue, Vitro with DEX fees. And here is what I'm proposing on the right. All revenue is available for all stakeholders. Huge. So I can't say this is an apples to orange comparison. I would say this is an apple to apple orchard comparison. So before, what you had was apples, and now we're saying, let's take the whole thing and put it into play, all revenue. All right. So let's look at how this would work. So the first thing is we would have a single Vibe contract that is created and deployed. All revenue received by the protocol, regardless of where it comes from. It doesn't matter what app, it doesn't matter what smart contract, it doesn't matter what source, it doesn't matter what currency. Everything goes into this single contract. All right. Next thing, this smart contract has one indivisible fungible token called Vibe. What I mean by indivisible is you can't have 0.5 Vibe, you can't have 0.12 Vibe. You can only have one Vibe. That's the smallest unit you can have. And the supply of Vibe is fixed at 1 million. All right. So that's 1 million rev share units, if you will. If you are a Vibe holder at any time, you can claim your pro rata share of revenue coming into the Vibe smart contract. Now remember, every source of revenue is coming into that smart contract. Your one Vibe or 100 Vibes or whatever give you a proportionate share of that revenue. You can go in anytime and claim it. All right, it's really, that's it. It's really that simple. The rest is all implementation details, which I'm going to go into with you. But from an understanding standpoint, one smart contract, 1 million Vibes. If you're a holder of a Vibe, you, for the rest of your life, as long as you're holding it, get a share of the revenue coming into the protocol, regardless of where it comes. Now let's go into the details, because that's where everyone gets hung up. So let's go through the details of what all this means. So, but first, a big picture look. I know a lot of you are visual thinkers, so it's important to communicate this. You have all revenue sources. They all come into one place, Vibe smart contract, and the Vibe token holders, you claim it's yours to claim forever. Nothing can be taken away. Nothing can be modified. That's it. That's how it works. All right. So a one way to look at it is with the lens of a token. So you all have Vitru tokens. So the price and profit of Vitru depend on market conditions and investor sentiment. And as we just discussed with rebasing, you can have up to 5x passive income and over 5 to 7 years from rebasing. That's Vitru, right? You go and sell your Vitru on a market, or there's a SEX or DEX, you're done. You no longer get any of that. You have collected your profit, you've exited, and you're done. Vibe has no market value. It's unlikely it will be traded, but maybe someone wants to trade it. I don't know. I intend to look at it as a no market value. Its revenue share income depends on market adoption of our protocol services. So it depends on creators coming and adopting our Vitru suite, consumers using Vitru Stream, gamers coming and building on Vortex. So all of these are basically vectors for income, right? are DEX. There's income there also. So revenue share for Vibe depends on market adoption of these protocol services. But here's the most important thing you need to understand about Vibe versus Vitru. It is recurring income with no ceiling, no upper limit, and it's available forever. So if you're holding a Vibe, you have access to the protocol's revenue forever, a portion of it, right? Whereas with Vitru, you have rebasing income, and then when you exit, you're done, you're out of it. So this is the difference between the two. That's the lens you want to look at it with, and everyone is going to look inward, look at their own situation, and make choices around it based upon some of the mechanisms that we are providing here for you to acquire Vibe. So let's see that. All right. But before we do that, I want to highlight to you the current revenue sources we have that go into this pool. So first and foremost, we have Vitru Store NFT sales fees. So that's going to be 2%. It may be bumped up to 2.5%, but that's roughly it. We are going to enable the print license. It's already in there. A lot of artists have already uploaded their print media. So we're going to make a partnership with the print resource so we can print frames, we can print T-shirts, mugs, whatever, all of that. So there's going to be sales fees with that. We have a unique licensing model. We have the ability to create many, many different licenses for one artwork. So all the future license sales fees are going to go in there, the profit from that. We have Vitru Stream consumer subscription fees. Those are coming in there. The new Wrap Vitru contract, it is being designed so that all the rebasing that comes in from the Vitru locked into that contract goes as income into Vibe. So that by itself, folks, if you think about it, is going to be huge, because everyone who wants to trade Vitru is going to wrap their Vitru. That Vitru is going to be sitting in a contract, and it's going to be rebasing. All those rebases are income for Vibe. So that is a big deal. Vortex, we're going to have fixture and asset sales. Vortex is going to have gaming fees. And then also all future revenue sources. So everything that is going to come that has any kind of revenue component flows through Vibe. In addition to Vitru, we also have USDC profit. So we will inevitably have stream partner agreements. These would be in IRL outside of crypto. There would be long-term arrangements, and they would be significantly high value dollar agreements where the fees, etc., come in via wire transfer, because that's what a lot of businesses will do. They don't, if they're not in crypto. We are also going to initiate collector credit sales with US dollars. So someone can come in and with their credit card buy collector credits and then therefore be able to buy artwork. We also have future revenue sources there. And finally, we have DEX fees. So every other kind of token or whatever that's on the DEX, the fees that come in all flow into Vibe. So this is basically how Vibe works. Now let's look at how you can acquire a Vibe. Basically, we made it super simple. It's just a decision for you to make, whether you want it or not. So there are 10 categories of folks eligible for Vibe. There's only 1 million Vibe tokens. It's going to be your decision whether you want it or not. If you want it, it's yours. All right. So let's start how we go. First and foremost, with the treasury, everything that's unallocated will remain in the treasury as protocol income. So remember, the protocol has to pay for all this development and maintenance and pay people to do marketing and all of that. So that has to come from somewhere. And certainly that's going to come, a lot of it is going to come from the Vitru in the treasury that's going to appreciate in value over time. But at least in the initial stages here, we need to have income. So it stays there until it goes to someone else. So let's look at the first group, validators. Now, as I mentioned, all of this is a plan. Everyone will have a chance to input. We will refine it, and then we will activate it. But if you're unhappy with some aspect of this, that's okay. It's just a matter of commenting on it and getting feedback. So this is about getting feedback. This is how we do things here, where we present a plan, we get feedback, we get some consensus, and then we develop it, right? So the first thing is with validators, we'll have 100,000 vibes. That's 10% allocated to a new validator multi-sig smart contract to be controlled by VTech. VTech is the group that is basically managing all the validator operations, etc. Now, what this contract will enable VTech to do is to distribute the revenue share only to those nodes that meet their performance criteria. So for example, if you've got a validator node, but you don't in fact run a validator, or your validator is down all the time, you will not be eligible for revenue share. Now, we don't want the protocol to make those decisions. We allow the validator group to make those decisions. They have this pool of Vibe. They have income coming into this smart contract. It is multi-sig, so no one person has control over it, and they can make the rules around how the validators can make income. All right. So that's one thing around the validators. All right. The next thing is creators. So 8 Vibe tokens will be airdropped to each Dreamer Core NFT holder, Artpacks artists, and Genesis artists. These are artists who have supported us, who have provided their artwork and helped us get to the point where we actually have a functioning system. We are about to launch Creator KYC, and we will be airdropping Vibe tokens to creators who complete that KYC as thank you, and also to show that trust goes both ways. In addition, 70,000 Vibe tokens will be kept in reserve for Dreamers. So what we want to do is we want to set criteria for creators, and the criteria, once met, will make them eligible for getting these Vibe tokens. So you'll see a pattern here. Instead of specifying exactly how the model works, we designate to each group and let them figure out. So validators will figure out how validators should earn. The Creator Council will figure out how creators should earn. My guess is it would be something like complete so many consignments over a period of time of high quality artwork, and then you earn Vibe tokens, etc. So the idea is to reward creators who are actively participating in the Vitruveo ecosystem. We don't want to reward those who just make a listing, get some money, and then go. We don't want to reward those. We want people who are active, who are actually working in the ecosystem, and who are both benefiting from and helping others benefit from the ecosystem. So that's creators. The next group is collectors and partners. We want to incentivize art collectors and art organization partners to come on board here and to help this ecosystem thrive. So we're going to set aside 20,000 Vibe tokens in reserve for these. And again, we'll set up the rules about how they are going to earn these. And remember, until the tokens are allocated, they belong to the protocol. So they sit in the revenue share goes to the treasury, and that benefits everybody, because that's how we pay for all the services and things that we are building. All right. The next thing is the team. So there's a team of folks who have been working very hard, who actually have been doing things for the past few months without any pay, and we want to reward them. So 10,000 Vibe tokens will be distributed among current team members, and 10,000 will be held in reserve for future team members. So there's a lot of activity, all this development you're seeing done. There's people working hard behind the scenes, and this is their compensation. Now come the booster NFT holders. So previously you had a sliver of 2% of just the NFT sales, and now you have a bigger pool. So each booster will be airdropped 12 Vibe tokens, and each super booster will be airdropped 2004 Vibe tokens. So that booster to super booster is just a linear math conversion based upon the value. So you're going to get a significant more revenue share with this approach, because previously you had only a sliver. You had one tiny share of it, and now you have revenue from all these other sources that is pulled in, and your Vibe tokens will enable you to capture that revenue. With Vortex NFTs, it is tiered by rarity, and so Epic holders will each be airdropped 4 Vibe tokens, Ultra will be 3, Rare will be 2, and Common will be 1 Vibe. So that is what Vortex NFT holders get. And again, the plan was only streaming revenue, and now you have the entire pool of all revenue sources and access to that pool for revenue sharing. You can do the math on this, everybody, and I know everyone will, but as I said, the comparison is not apples to oranges, it's apples to orchards, because we literally opened up a huge pool of revenue for everybody. And so previous numbers are all trivial in the scope of this. This is a much bigger pie. All right, so number 8, I want to introduce the concept of V3. A lot of projects have MVPs, most valuable professionals, and things like that. I'd like to introduce very valuable Vitruvians. So there are many members of the community, whether they are in the validators, in the Discord, in different chats, different spaces, etc. Community members who consistently help other individuals and the overall ecosystem thrive. We want to recognize them, we want to celebrate them, and we want to promote them, and we want to reward them. So 10,000 Vibe will be kept in reserve for the V3 program to start awarding these folks who have volunteered their time and effort to help. And with V3, that is our way to recognize them. All right, and the next 2 are how you as a Vitru or a Vitru holder can get into Vibe. It's very simple. It's just a matter of you deciding to opt in to Vibe. The basic choice you will have to make, and it is a voluntary choice for everyone. You don't want to make that choice, don't. The basic choice is between profit from Vitru price appreciation versus passive rev share income from Vibe. So if you want 1 Vibe, you swap it out with 100 Vitru. That's it. It's your choice. It's got to be vested Vitru. You can do this anytime until the point where we list on the DEX. So I'm coming to that right now. And with Vitro, it's the same concept. You can just swap. The choice is yours. You can do absolutely nothing, and you will be fine. There's no compulsion on your part. You have 1,000 Vitro to 1 Vitru. So this is the basic mechanics of Vibe. It is enabling everyone in the community to benefit. You can make a choice to go hybrid. You could say, well, I want to take my chances with the market. I want to go hang on to all my Vitru. And you might just get 1 Vibe or something like that, and say that, okay, I want some recurring revenue also. Your decision to make. We just provide all the details for you, all the data, and provide a mechanism for you to do it. If you don't choose to get a Vibe, that's fine. That revenue share stays with the treasury. It doesn't go anywhere else. So that is it. The basic opt-in offer is that we'll make up to, I'm sorry, it says 500K, but it should probably say 300K. I mistook that. I'll correct that slide before I share it with everybody. Vibe tokens prior to start of Vitru tokens, okay? Now, the revenue share has no upper limit and is available forever. So again, 100% your decision, costs you nothing. You don't have to put in a dime here. It's just a matter of, do I want to swap or not? And as I mentioned, this whole program or Vibe is about really elevating the ecosystem and elevating the community. So it's your choice. If you're a hardcore crypto investor and go like, I don't care for all this revenue share, I don't believe in any of the things that you're doing, if you haven't had a chance to look at a strategic plan, then more than likely you're going to make a knee-jerk reaction. But if you look at the development we've done, the results we've gotten, look at the strategic plan in detail, you'll see that it's a no-brainer decision. And I'll leave you to decide what that no-brainer decision is. But here's the basic allocation table in a bird's eye view here. So the treasury has over 50% of the revenue there, the revenue share, and the rest is divided up among all the different categories. And the last row there is your opt-in. So there's a pool that is basically going to be drawn from the treasury. So when every time a Vitru or a Vitro swap-in occurs, opt-in occurs, it goes from the treasury. It has zero impact on anyone else's pool. So it's not a variable pool where as more come in, your share goes up or down. All the other shares are constant. They are unchanging and will not change regardless of what happens. Everything comes from the treasury. So this is the general plan here. The important thing, and I want to reiterate, this is a plan, all right? In order for it to be activated, the first thing that has to happen is we'll get feedback from the community. So on these things, it has been my observation that the feedback comes fast and furious. So I expect there'll be lots of feedback today, tomorrow, and the weekend, and maybe Monday, Tuesday. And assuming that we are able to reach consensus and get the numbers just right for the different stakeholders, we can look to deploy a Vibe contract as early as next week, and then start the airdrops, get those Vibe airdrops done. Now, if you're wondering what would have happened if there was no Vibe, well, if there was no Vibe, then you're already holding a core NFT. The revenue share component would have been kind of added on to that, and it would be available in scope. All we are doing is saying that, well, instead of having it ad hoc, but with all these different classes, we'll just do one way of sort of revenue share, and we'll include it in there. So we'll add a Vibe mint page into scope, so you can go in there and mint and get your tokens. And the first revenue share test for Vibe is going to come from Vitru Store NFT sales, because we are in the process, as I mentioned earlier, implementing the ability for artists to upload multiple artworks at whatever price they want. The moment that's up there, the fees are on and rev share begins. So we are talking about a matter of weeks. I would say maximum 3 weeks away, but best case 2 weeks away, that the rev share begins. So this is the activation. I want to reiterate one more time, because I know people don't listen very well and just jump to conclusions. This is a plan. This is a proposal to the community. There has to be feedback that comes from the community, and the plan can be amended before it is activated. So I just reiterate that, because I know I see people there are some people in Discord who just will not listen and assume that Nick is saying we should do this and blah, blah, blah. And no, this is a consensus plan. So we'll be doing a Discord live, X Spaces to gather feedback and answer your questions. All suggestions and feedback are welcome. Even those that say, hey, this plan is complete garbage, plan will be amended based on reasonable community consensus. Now, I have known from past experience that every stakeholder group watches out for themselves, which is fine. That's what they should do. But I don't want it to be at the expense of others, right? So I want to have a balanced approach to this, so everyone wins. We can do this. We can do it where everyone wins. And in fact, I like people to think that a rising tide lifts all boats. So let's all think about mechanisms that ensure that everyone can be successful. That's why this is the Vitruveo income building engine. We want everyone to be successful. We want the crypto investors, the boosters, the vortex holders, the creators. We want the team. Everyone should benefit from this. So that's my thoughts on Vibe. I have a short link here, but when I was trying to get it going, the tiny URL was down. So roughly 1 minute after I'm done this download, I will activate this short link, and you'll be able to get to the deck. So that's what we have for today on the revenue sharing. Let's go to the download link. As always, we want everyone to be able to grab a poet. So I haven't done mine today yet because it wasn't working when I tried it, or maybe it is still down. Let's see. If it is still down, I'm going to request Alex that you fix this and make sure that the poet is up. But yeah, so that is the plan for today. Lots of exciting things. We've got the rebase reset. We've got Vibe. We've got the DEX imminent. We've got Wrap Vitru imminent. This is all happening now in the course of the next few weeks, folks. And I'm excited to be on this journey with you, and appreciate everything you've done to support the ecosystem. And let's thrive together. Let's grow something very, very massive, very, very big, that changes the world and makes the world a better place. All right, with that, Zach, come on in and let's take some comments: the good, the bad, the ugly.
What?
All right. Oh gosh, we've got Poet will work if you use HTTP. Okay. There's a certificate error on the site. All right. Right. So let's start taking some of these questions. Let's start with sorry. Turtle Man has a question: is Vibe separate to the incentive coins? Yes, the incentive coins were called perks. This in no way touches anything. This is revenue share only, folks. Keep the scope mentally constrained to revenue share. This is it. Nothing. It touches nothing else. It doesn't touch staking. It doesn't touch perks. It doesn't touch anything else. Revenue share is all it is about. All right. Let's see. I'm sorry. You had another question up there.
Yeah. Eagle Rider. If Vibe has no value, how do holders get their revenue?
Well, that's what the contract does for you. The contract knows you're a holder, and it gives you your pro rata share of it. So
I think the question is being asked is, what is the token then? If Vibe has no value, what will have value when you get rev share? What will be paid in?
Vitru.
Okay.
Or Vitru or or USDC. So there's no if you notice the slide where I had the revenue sources, there was an important slide. I put it up there because so people can see that they can get income both in Vitru and in USDC and in other tokens also. So there is no constraint made here, but these are the three types of cryptocurrency income you can receive: Vitru, USDC, and other, and it'll be whatever combination is it as it's coming in. You get that. So your Vibe is your claim to whatever revenue is coming in, your share of it. So you might be earning, like let's say that we have a lot of collector credit sales. All that income is coming in USDC. You get paid in USDC. All the store sales are in Vitru. Then you get paid in Vitru.
It makes total sense to me. I'm just reading the chat. I think a lot of people are confused and need to sit on this. I see a lot of conflicting opinions on how it works and stuff like that.
I think I see a lot of questions are because they're conflating it with other things, and it's very simple. If you just think of it as revenue share and nothing else is impacted, absolutely zero other things are impacted, then it becomes very easy to understand that here is a huge, colossal, massive benefit to the community. And if you don't see that, then it requires a second pass, because this has been very carefully thought out to benefit the entire ecosystem.
Okay. A lot of.
All right, so let's.
I was throwing off someone used my full government name. Zachary. Is there any benefit to leave my claimable coins in scope instead of claiming them and staking them? And if I stake them, do those coins rebase? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, if you leave them, it does nothing for you. That crypto does not work for you. If you stake it, you're going to get a reward. So it's better to take that and stake it. Invest in yourself is probably giving the most wrong sentiment. I apologize for that.
I was looking for that, actually.
Yeah. So there is zero money involved here. And you have not lost all revenue sharing. Again, these are completely wrong things. If you do nothing right now, if you're a booster or a Vortex holder, you're better off, way better off. If you're a Vitru or a Vitro holder, this changes nothing for you unless you decide to opt into Vibe. If you do, then you have a huge benefit. But if you don't want that huge benefit, you can sit on the sidelines. You don't have to pay a single cent.
Okay.
Ready Freddy says the same thing. I'm not going to put that up there because it's all wrong. There is no funds that have to be exchanged. All right.
I'm just trying to read some of these.
Aris says, Nick, if I trade my Vitru to Vibe, I'll get access to all the revenue share. Yeah, I mean, unless you're a booster holder or validator or Vortex, right now, you don't have access to revenue share. But if you have Vitru and you want access to Vibe, then you can get it. The choice is yours.
I don't know. Oh, where do you go? There you go. I don't know if this is correct, but Sunny T did some math for us. If we had 10 million in revenue and you had 105, you would get $1,000.
I would have to model that, but I trust Sunny T's math. But yeah, I mean, this is basically ongoing, right? So yeah, it's about revenue over time. It's passive income. Yeah.
I love the idea. And it was funny. Nick was telling us about this plan earlier this week, guys. I was doing some research on this, and there's another model out there that's very similar to this that Nick worked independently of, and there's some other smart people working on the same thing, called proof of liquidity, which is similar, same but different concept to this, but it's a long-term revenue sharing program for people who support a blockchain. So if you want to learn more, maybe just on the concept, the Berachain, they have some good documentation on this kind of concept, but we'll continue to work on this. Maybe another big question I saw that I haven't found one yet is, are we going to vote on this plan?
I think one of the challenges I've had with this community is that there is basically an apathy to voting. So we have about 1,000 votes, so it seems it's much better to just get consensus through chat and then move forward based upon what consensus has achieved, because all the voting does is say that, okay, I was in Discord at the time, and so I was able to get vote. If we didn't have voter apathy in that sense, I think I would go with it. But my experience has been that it doesn't work that way. It's better to talk, to talk in multiple forums, get lots of input, and then go from there. Jason says, can we claim a revenue share daily based on our Vibe holding? Yeah, you can claim it as often as you want. So yeah. So let me go ahead and see if I can get that tiny URL done so that we can make sure that you have access to the deck. So give me one moment. I'm going to take care of doing that. And meanwhile, keep the questions coming. I think the main thing is, as I said, as long as you don't conflate this with any other source of any other benefit, I think it'll be okay. But the moment you start conflating it and interjecting other things in there, which is not the intent at all, you would end up saying, oh, well, but this got taken away. Nothing got taken away. Instead of getting tiny slices of pies, you have one huge pie that everyone can benefit from. So, all right, I think, let's see. Well, URL shortener is working. Let's see if we can log in and add this.
I don't understand this guy, but I see him in the chat talking about this. $150 per booster equals $30 for Vortex. You got $150 for the tokens, and the revenue shares is we just talked about this. Like, this is an additional value. I don't know why people are devaluing what they've already purchased when this is an additional value.
Yeah. Give me one moment. Let me finish this.
Yeah, you're fine.
Looks like the redirection is still not working. That sucks. Let's see if we can make it work without the domain. Bear with me. Just trying to get this going here. Okay. All right. So it looks like with tiny URL, the problem is they are custom domain implementation. So I was able to make it work with their tiny URL. So I'll just go ahead and update that, and people can get to that. What is it? tinyurl.com. Okay, so it works with this here. All right, so you can get it at that link, and I'm sure the other one will be updated at some point. But right now, you can get to it directly that way. All right, so let's see. What was the question again?
There wasn't a question. I was just referring to a guy who was confused about.
All right, let me. I'm not sure why people are so confused. It's actually very simple. Until today, you have had the promise of a rev share, but nothing in concrete terms. Now you have something in concrete terms, and you have got something that is 100x better than what you had before. You are not giving up anything, and you're getting what you were supposed to get. So that is it. We are trading in our boosters. No, you're trading in Vortex. No, you're not trading in anything.
And then again,
crypto. The main question is: do us early supporters be better or worse with this new rev share plan? Think about it, folks. This is basic math here, right? You, for example, as a booster, you would have gotten 30% of 2% of rev share off only NFT sales. Now you are getting a much larger piece of the overall revenue of all these additional revenue sources. Do the math. How can it be smaller? There is no physical, mathematical way in which it can be less. So yeah.
I like Gus. This is basically an additional option to participate in rev.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So those who are already eligible for receiving a rev share, your rev share went up, and those who had no option to participate in rev share now have an option to. It's that simple.
Can I combine by multiple wallets to just one and use that to chain rewards?
The implementation details of that are currently unknown, but I think we can probably make that super simple with the UX. Phantom has it right here. Boosters go from NFT sales to all sales. That's the part that I think I think people once they look at the fact that we've got all the revenue sources on the table. It's like being, basically saying you're making a profit from one product in the store to all the products being made by the company. That's the difference. So it's, yeah. Let's see here.
And then, the split is letting way more people in, though. I disagree.
No, it's the same number of people, just a few more, and the ones who are coming in are doing it by trading in the Vitru, which means that's less Vitru on the market, therefore causing scarcity. It's about scarcity, right? So yeah, there are multiple dimensions to this. You need to make sure that you evaluate all the dimensions and not just, the number went up. Like when the rev share, the sources of revenue went up to not one fixed one, but to all current ones plus all future ones. The math on that is
Garfield's talking about it right here. Since I'm already getting Vibe from boosters, Vortex, etc., to trade my Vitru for Vibe is only to increase my rev share even more. Correct.
Exactly. This is the decision, and I'll bring up that slide again. Your only thing you have to do is make a decision whether, and you know what, let me fix this before. It's whether you want recurring revenue share forever, or you want to look at the Vitru as an investment that has market value that you are able to sell whenever you want to and monetize, right? That's the decision. So it's, everyone can make their own decision. This is not does not have to be groupthink. It could be that someone has enough Vitru where they say, okay, I'm going to split it. I'm going to do this much for recurring revenue and this much to play the market and see how Vitru does initially and in the short term, and maybe in the long term also. It's your decision. All I'm saying is that the option to get Vibe is not available to you forever. It is available for a window of time, and after that window is closed. And then Vitru is available. It's perfectly viable. Hold on to it, and it's fine. So everyone has to make their own decision around that. Let's see.
Numbers are much better for boosters. You get 12 slash, assuming worst case, share of the total revenue. In other words, you get 9.23 for every million in revenue, much better than before.
Yeah, I think I'll be happy to create a model and all of that to help people understand. But intuitively, if you think about it intuitively, you had one revenue source, and you had a sliver of a percentage of 2% of that, right? You had a piece of that. And now you're saying the number of revenue sources have more than quintupled, and you're getting a slice of that. And if you look at the percentage in the table there, the booster holders, for example, have a very healthy slice of that. That's 13%. 13% as a group. That's non-trivial. Yeah, so we'll do the modeling. Ultimately, it's math, so you have to do the modeling. I get that, but intuitively, you can tell that it's more. This
First poll is the same.
Sorry?
Someone's comment. Someone was asking about the perks pool.
Here's something that is an important point that not everyone recognizes. Booster holders contributed 100%. They contributed at the time when the protocol needed it the most, and that's what's recognized in the 13% there. But let's also not forget that validators are actively paying every month for running a node. So they don't even have income until they have first recouped that investment. So you got to keep that in mind as you make some of these decisions around that. So it's important. If no validators, no network, no blockchain. CTIT says, is it possible to make the percentage between boosters and Vortex make sense? 150 equals 30. Now, see, this is the language that I'm looking for. I'm looking for people to propose that, okay, these numbers here need massaging. These numbers, could be better, etc. That's the discussion we want to be having. And also about how we can maybe change ways in which to acquire it or things like that. But I feel like fundamentally, the premise that we have a mechanism by which we can allocate revenue share to everybody is a solid one, and it's actually intuitively makes sense, right? So if we can have that conversation, this is exactly what I want to see, is we can change these numbers so we arrive where this is what I've learned from negotiations. Everyone should feel slightly unhappy. If that's the case, we've got consensus. If there's one segment that is ecstatic, it means that we probably didn't have a good negotiation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone, once again, to remind you, this deck is available at tinyurl.com/vitru-tribe/vibe. Just go forward and slice and dice it, and let's have a discussion about the numbers here. As I said, and I repeat again, this is a plan. So let's revise the plan until we've got some consensus.
How do we opt in our Vitru that has been staked in the airdrop campaign?
We can figure out a way for doing that.
That's a good point, though. It's a good point. I forgot about it.
Yeah, I'll have to check on that. So these are all implementation details that we need to solve, and they are fewer implementation details than rev share programs for each different category. So I'm happy to tackle those, and we'll get those done.
Will future purchases of Vortex still earn value?
Yeah, it's 25,000. The numbers that you see here for Vortex represent 25,000. Yeah. All right. So there is so Bugs Life says he's not happy with the comparison of booster versus vortex NFTs. All right, so do the math and let's figure out what it should be, because I did the math and put straight dollar numbers in there to come up with this. So basically, we are talking about 25,000 vortex multiplied by approximately $11.50 or $12, and then with the booster NFTs, they were 150 each. There's 10,196 boosters and 4 super boosters. So these numbers are derived straight up from the math
program, right? Like, yeah. So that percentage point is allocated with the thought of future vortexes as well.
Well, I mean,
I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying it out loud.
Yeah, yeah. And remember, until those are claimed, the it sits in the treasury, so it's not going anywhere else.
Why early bird has yet to be mentioned?
They already get. Yeah, the early bird fulfillment is already done, so that's finished.
That was just the extra tokens.
Yeah, so I think there's a number of people in the ecosystem who are really good at math. So let's refine these numbers. Let's maybe come up with a community spreadsheet where we have different numbers, etc., where we feel these numbers make sense, and then we go with it. I mean, that was the whole point of it. So let's attack it this weekend and together come up with numbers that make sense. I want, like I said, I want everyone to be slightly dissatisfied. That means we've got a good sort of plan in place. But I don't want any one stakeholder group to basically trump all others, So
Garfield gets it. 5 equals increase in rev share plus control of sell pressure plus scarcity of Vitru.
You got it.
Got it.
That's it. Thank you. Brilliant. Yep.
That's the TLDR of today.
Yeah. I mean, the factor is, let's not miss the big picture. There isn't a protocol that is offering its entire ecosystem revenue share. We're the first to do that. That is huge. All right. So it's not like you can take something from this part or this part. This here vibe is saying everything is on the table, everything now and on the future.
What exactly is Treasury going to be doing with the rev share profit? Invest in itself, scale the company, operations.
Hey, people, like all everything you see being built, etc., requires engineers to be paid, marketers to be paid, etc. People need to be paid to do work. Otherwise, what you have is a blockchain that does nothing. So yes.
Tell us something regarding the perks pool as well, please. Perks pool are unchanged.
Sure, let's do that. So perks pool is all still there. It just has to be implemented. The reason I've kind of sort of backburnered that a little bit is because I know that as soon as it's implemented, a lot of people will still not claim, because perks pool is the only mechanism we have where when you claim, you are done, you exit out. So most people are smart enough to know that if they wait the 24 months, they get all their perks and all the rebases, right? And so I have a feeling a vast majority will choose that option. And so haven't implemented that yet. But perks are all good. They're still all there, all as planned. Nothing has changed about perks. Nothing has changed about staking. Nothing has changed about anything else. This is simply an introduction of a unified way for revenue share. What is the start date for vesting of perk pool? It started at Genesis, I believe. So that would have been October 23rd. So it's still going. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So let Discord get on fire here. I'm not going to step into it right now. Maybe a later tonight or whatever. So let's come up with the numbers, folks. These are
DAOnload Napnik. You need it.
No, I got plenty of work to do. Still, we got another airdrop tonight, and got to get that Warpcast thing done so we can continue there. Yeah. Yeah. So I hope like I said, there big news. Also, let's not forget we are going to reset the rebasing transactions. So
Yeah, that's really big.
that means that there is also additional income coming your way from that, and yeah, hopefully we'll reach consensus on this over the weekend, and next week we can start implementing this. In particular, I want to talk to my validator friends, etc., and make sure they're happy with the plan. I basically just said you guys can control how the rev share is split up based upon the performance of individual validators. Yeah. So yeah, and really for creators, this is remember, we are the blockchain for creators, and sustainable income is important. And so this is a way for many creators to benefit from this and have a sustainable income. We'll make the rules very basic and very simple. First group will do that. We'll make it so it's simple things, right? List so many artworks and you're eligible and things like that. Yeah. So, all right, folks, I'll just leave you with this. This is how I approach things, and I would like for everyone to think about it this way. It's think about everyone, like not just your particular bag or your group's bag. Think about how your decision impacts the entire ecosystem. We want everyone to thrive. We want Vitruveo to be very successful, and so vibe with us. Yeah. All right. Have a good weekend, folks.
It's a good sign off. I like that. Vibe with us, Vic. Let's continue to use that one. Have a good day.